What's going on, baby? Welcome back to the House of Nerd Show. Here live Sunday morning, hanging out with all you beautiful people. Here with my main man, Marquelon _𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐞. What's going on, homie? What are you saying?
Hey, what's going on, brother? We back in the house, man. We back in the house of nerds again.
The House of Nerd. That's what I love to hear, man. Always good to get to hang out with you, with the fellow community, man. Hey, listen, bro. This episode is like a little. We're gonna do most of it just on the fly. Life has been super busy, super hectic.
Yeah, I see with little 𝐬𝐸. I saw him on Twitter. Was that on Twitter or Instagram? You had him in the Flash outfit. I saw him somewhere.
Yo, yeah, that was. I think I put them both on Twitter and Instagram.
Look a little Flash. Look a little 𝐬𝐸 right there in the Flash suit.
Yeah, we
Which
did
is
that
really
with,
funny because the baby's in the Flash. That's why it's so funny.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Like, yes.
I thought you were thinking about that. Like,
No, I didn't, man. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, if you follow House of Nerd Show on the spoilers on my personal hey, yo, shout out the Spoiler Kings in the house. Good morning, good to see you, my man.
I know I'm behind on my spoiler kings because
Yeah.
I think I said this before, but like when they do that Monday night late night, I usually sneak on my girlfriend's sleep so I can watch that and talk. But I usually come like late, like to keep that last 30 minutes. So I'm
Okay.
behind on my spoiler kings.
The good thing about the Spoiler Kings show, they do seem to go on. You guys go on like pretty late, bro. Like you start at 10, and then by the time I get home from like work, I get home like at 10, 11, sometimes later. These guys are still going. So, I'll try to pop in like, real quick, and everybody else is sleeping, but the Spoiler Kings, they're still alive, baby.
Spoiler kings be putting out their work though, for real. I'm like, man. I'm like,
No,
dang.
check them out, man. They're doing good stuff. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. Yeah, we were just saying, super chill episode this week, man. Loosey goosey. What are the boys saying there?
They said they all got kids.
We love when you jump. Oh yeah, we all got kids, so it has to be like. There you
I
go.
don't have any kids. I just got a woman, so that's why I jump on late. But I guess it's the same thing.
Well, Mark, I didn't want to say it, but it's pretty much the same thing.
You got to make sure. Okay, I make sure you're fine before I can do what I want to do.
Oh man, and we got the main one. Shout out Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster, man.
I realized I was editing Cookie. We did a fun Lovesick trade paperback review, which folks is up on the channel. Sorry, bro.
Did Cookie write that review?
Cookie. Well, first of all, Cookie's been killing it. Cookie wrote a Lovesick trade paperback review and an interview, a really in-depth, fantastic interview with 𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐿. Check it out, folks. It's on houseofnerdshow.com.
I saw that. I was like, look at Cookie go right here. I like, look at that.
Oh, she's been killing it.
I saw that. She put
and then she did the video review with us. It's also on the channel. So I'm like, you can see there, Cookie's. It's Cookie Monster, like the monsters, right? And I'm
from Sesame Street.
or from Sesame Street. And I keep calling her Cookie Monster or some weird very, because there's I used to listen to this like a bass artist. I had a lot of questions. It was a great interview, folks. It really was. Check it out, man. And actually, we're gonna do a House of Nerd Show check-in on our latest articles in just a little bit. But yeah, Cookie, apologize for mispronouncing Munster all the time. I know it's Munster, but I keep saying Munster or something like that.
I keep using with an MO too, and my aunt, my father's sister, her name is Cookie. So it's like, oh yeah, that's why I always go Cookie first. That's what I'm used to saying.
That's why. That's why I just Cookie. And yo, it's 245, everybody. Haven't seen you in so long. I hope all is well. How you doing, my man? How you doing, buddy? Hey, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we're like, me and Mark, I want to keep it loosey goosey today. We're gonna get into maybe some of the Eisner
Oh, we definitely in the pre-show, we do our pre-show brief, we talk about it. I said, oh, I know a lot of people upset. I've been in some chats. Some people upset, you know, but I gotta be. We'll talk about it, Sergio. We'll talk about it.
Gonna get into it, man, for sure. And I'm curious to hear what comic folks are thinking about these ones. I don't know most of them. I just seen a couple online, so I don't know who's been winning. It's been a while. All is good, my man. Hey, yes, glad to hear that, man. Yeah, again, honestly, always great to see you when you're able to join us in the chats. Glad to hear everything is blessed with you, man. Markley, I mean, should we kick it off with a little bit of comic talk, maybe weekend review action, or what are you thinking? How should we do it?
Yeah, I mean, because last time I was here, we didn't really go into actual comics who came in that week. We did a lot of did an interview. I think last time I've been here, we've been doing interviews. I think we did a lot of interviews last time I was here. So let's just kick with the comics first, and then.
I like that, bro. I like that. I'm with that. Okay, folks.
And my mom's watched the interview. She said, I saw the interview with the guy, who had started his own comic book. I saw my mama yesterday.
Mama Dukes was watching the interview?
She was like, I said, you talking about Oscar from Peru? She's like, yeah, Oscar from Peru. And she's like, make sure you tell the people on the show about how they stole your comic book collection. I said, they know, Mama.
Oh, man, unfortunately,
She's like, maybe somebody will find it on the internet. I said, oh, well, okay. Well, I said, well, I'll tell everybody.
Hey. Shout out, Mrs. Sigler. I appreciate you tuning in and watching the show. We love it, man. Hey, we all about family here, man. So let me where's that weekend review? Here we go, folks. We're gonna get into a little weekend review, comic book action. Weekend review, baby. You know what? I think now's a good time. Folks, to remind you, if you've seen it on the socials, if you haven't, it's the return of Mr. Chip Zdarsky and Mr. Jacob Phillips, man. That's right, folks. They're coming back to the house next Sunday, folks. Next Sunday, July 30th, at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Super excited to have these gentlemen back on. And, we said, Marquelon, we're going to get into the Eisners. I know one winner, big winner.
Yeah, he is a winner. You are correct.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw that one. Chip Zdarsky winning best new series for was it public
domain?
Public domain.
And I remember when we talked about bringing Chip Zdarsky on here, I said, let's bring him on after San Diego Comic-Con, because I said he's probably going to win Eisner. I called that one. I don't know if is it his first one?
Oh, no. This is I think his third or fourth, buddy.
Yeah, I'm saying, he's in the know.
Yeah, he's one of I think his first one was for Sex Criminals way back.
Oh, Sex Criminals was the it though, man. I love Sex Criminals. I think that may be my first Chip Zdarsky book. Then Sex Criminals. That may have been the first thing I read by him.
Yeah. So I mean, folks. So be sure to tune in next Sunday, again, July the 30th, at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern, man. Obviously we're going to talk to him about his big Eisner win, New Burn, which is dropping this Wednesday.
New Burn number 9 is coming out. Is it number 9 coming out this Wednesday? And New Burn is, if you guys like mystery, crime, detective stuff, New Burn is the book for you. I mean, that book is just tight. It's just like boom, boom, boom. We just moving. We trying to solve the crime.
Marquelon, you know what, bud? I really like that description. It's tight. It
is. I mean, like it's tightly scripted. The stories are tight. They're serialized, but it's an overarching story. But it's basically one shots that fit into an overarching story arc.
I love that. That's exactly it, man. Yeah. But something like a crime procedziral.
It is. I mean, it's like a crime procedure. I mean, comic wise, I think it reminds me of Criminal from Brubaker back in the day. And people liked Criminal because Criminal was like that.
Okay.
So if you like that, and maybe some old Bendis stuff like Was it Jinx or something like that? I forgot what it was that that got him really famous. His independent crime serial stuff,
Okay.
or even Powers. I mean, Powers. It has people with superpowers, but Powers was ultimately a crime procedural. It
Yeah.
is the people happen to have superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely excited, man. Check out the new arc of Newburn #9. Figure drying in the house. What's going on, baby? You're spoiling it for me. Figure, what's going on? ¿Qué pasó, hombre? He's saying Bruno Redondo.
Oh, see, and this is what I'm talking about, Sergio. People are talking already. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
But his covers and Jenny Friesen wasn't even nominated. We're gonna get into a little bit of Jenny Friesen action. Stick around, Figure. I know you're
and Jenny Friesen, and for me, my favorite cover is that cover she did for Sirens of the City. I love that cover. I purely picked up that book because of that cover. That's just testament to her right there.
I got you,
That
bro.
book because of her cover.
I got you, bro. Marquelon, you know what? Why don't we kick it off with your books here? Let me get that down there.
All right. You
Very
see them?
curious to hear what you've been reading, man. What made you like your top 3, so to speak?
Oh, you know what? I actually have top 3 this week too. So let me add that to the stream.
Beautiful. What do we got here?
All right. So let's see. So number 1 is I'm sorry, number 3. I usually go backwards and forward. So number 3 is Big Game by Mark Millar and Pepe Larraz. So for y'all been following the Millar universe, this stuff is going on Netflix. I've been following this dude since he left and did Wanted. So this is basically the sequel to Wanted. That's what this is essentially, the sequel to Wanted.
Oh, really?
Yes. You see, Wesley Gibbons, I forgot what his name was, but in the Fox on the cover, this is the sequel to Wanted. This is like, okay, so, in the Wanted, of course, he became the leader of the fraternity, but this is like what happened since then. And the premise is basically all the Mark Millar verse books you've been reading, from like Nightclub to the Ambassadors to MPH. I mean, everything is on Image. I don't know if MPH is Image. All that stuff is actually happening in the same universe.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really, like, yeah. Because the whole thing on Wanted was basically, I see Figure Draw that says something. Pepe Larraz is fire. He is. This was fire.
So with this book, Marquelon, Big Game, he's basically letting us know that all his books are in a shared universe.
All his books, but you never knew it. And he's basically, and it basically picks up from Wanted. Like, the whole premise of Wanted was like, the super villains got together and they won in 1986, which I just realized 1986 when Crisis Infinite Earths came out. It just hit me this week.
Okay.
That's when the super villains won in 1986 when Crisis Infinite Earths came out. And basically you see the slide right here. They basically, let me go to the next one, where they're showing like, hey, they're killing a superhero right here. Like, hey, we won.
Okay, so this is kind of him like doing a flashback to his book Wanted.
Yeah. Okay. Like, the stuff we never saw in Wanted, like when the supervillains actually won.
Oh. Okay.
And then, one of the most fire books that came out early in Marvelverse, was Nemesis. So Nemesis has been brought back as well, and he's a member of the fraternity. And also with the return of Dave Lipnitz as Kick-Ass too. So Kick-Ass is set in this universe as well. Except now it's like 15 years later, he's like, I'm an adult. I listen to true crime podcasts, but I was Kick-Ass. I was the first Kick-Ass. I was the first superhero in our universe.
Oh, I see him there. I see Kick-Ass there. Yeah, Hit Girl there. So this is really cool. See, I actually, listen, I saw a Big Game, and I've been kind of digging what Mark Millar's been doing recently. What's his book? Did he drop not too long ago? Not Nightclub.
Which one?
The one with the superheroes.
Ambassadors.
Yeah. Right. So I said, okay, I'm really digging this stuff. Let me check this out. But I had no idea that this is the premise of the book. He's like really tying in together all his books into.
He's tying in all his Image
really
Netflix books together, which I hope he brings super criminals into it as well, because that's probably been my favorite thing to hit Netflix.
Okay.
Super criminals. That was animated, but I love super criminals when it came out. I mean, but Chrononauts. I mean, Huck. Everything he's done is supposed to tie into this Big Game series.
That's
Prodigy,
really cool.
I mean, even his new stuff is tying into it.
So big fans of Mark Millar, they're gonna I think probably love this. But let me ask you, how about if you're not like me? I'm very, very casual fan and knowledge of his books. Like,
Mm.
are we gonna dig it? Are we gonna enjoy it? Are we gonna like
I think you're gonna dig it, man. I mean, because this is basically all I'm sure is the exposition in the first couple pages. Like, oh, well, here's who I am. I'm introducing myself, and I was so and so. From that point, it just goes on, man.
Okay, I'm with that, man. What the?
Yeah.
What's Reader John saying over here?
Let's see.
By the way,
All right.
Doggie and Jacob Phillips on July 30th. Damn, yeah, listen, bro. I mean, even when we booked them again, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be sick. It's gonna be fun, man. So hoping to get as many folks come through, man. If you guys watching this, man, share it. Let's make this live a special interview, special event. But yeah, I'm pretty psyched about it, man. Gonna have with the self-proclaimed bad boy of comics, Chip Zdarsky.
The bad boy comics. All right. Oh, like Chip Zdarsky's Batman. Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil.
And we're gonna have to ask Mark. You gotta remember, we're gonna have to ask Chip about the whole free falling from space. The Batman. What he was thinking.
I'm asking. I was like, bro, come on, bro. I'm like, come on. But I've already read his like, well, I talked to Ryan North and all these people, and it's like scientifically possible. I said, okay, I get that,
Yeah, man. Okay.
What
do we got here, bro?
All right, so my number 2 for the week was A Vicious Circle, and I was on Twitter, and somebody said, A Vicious Circle 2 is number. I said, what? A Vicious. I mean, this is from Boom Comics. Matt Tomlin that wrote the Batman. That everybody loves, but I'm like on the fence about. And Lee Borimo, who I remember who did that book with Azzarello years ago, that Joker book with Azzarello years ago.
Yeah, Brian Azzarello.
And basically it's people time traveling, and of course, when I see a brother on a cover, I say, oh, this is a black guy. Let me read it. That's what made me pick it up. I promise you.
Okay.
But basically the premise is you got a trained assassin who's kind of going through time, trying to catch somebody, and I mean, basically every time they kill somebody, they travel through time again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a jacked up quantum leap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And let me see, but I mean, the art on this is gorgeous. I know you appreciate that, Sergio.
That's so sick. Listen, this might be a bit of a hot take. I know a lot of folks love Bermejo on like his Batman and his Superman, like his superhero stuff, right? Like he does a lot of DC. I love his style, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it necessarily works for a lot of the superheroes like Superman, because it's got like this very kind of a dark kind of super like a realistic style, but like heavy with the shadows and stuff. And when I see his Superman and his other I'm like, it's sick, but I don't know that it works. But something like for like, outside of like superhero IPs, like look at this, is interior art is just, it's incredible, man.
I mean, Bermejo be doing this thing. I mean, look at this, man. He's showing dinosaurs. The brother's trapped in the past. In prehistoric times. It's like, oh, look at this. I mean, this is, you were the art person. I'm more to the right. I lean more to the writing, but I mean, I am impressed with the art and the detail and the colors and all this, man. I'm like, man, they did this. They did their thing on this, man.
That's nuts, bro. Yeah, you can see like the little that it looks so. Oh, what the word I was looking like. His work is super, like textured,
right?
Like you can see all the little things and stuff. So this is nuts, man.
I mean, I was definitely impressed by this. I was like, man,
that's crazy.
So I mean, Vicious Circle 1 has actually been out for a while. I mean, I think it came out like maybe a quarter ago, 3 months ago. I don't know. And if you have Comicology, it's on Comicology. It is. If you have a Comicology account, you should be able to read it there.
Number 1 and number 2.
Number one. Number 1. They gonna make you pay for number 2, but number 1 is on there.
Okay.
And I bought number 1. I mean, once again, just in the comic book store. I said, "What is this right here? It's a brother on the cover." I picked it up. I was like, "Wait a minute, what's going on? Time travel? What?"
Yeah. And that's a good. You just reminded me. But is folks, if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you get all of Comixology's titles for free. You can't go wrong. And I keep forgetting to check to see, what's under these days, right?
Well, as my sister says, I'm a junkie, so I got a comiXology account, a Global Comics account. You know, I read the stuff you post for review. I'm like, I be reading everything, like, when I have time.
Listen, the homie figure saying, he said Bermejo is arguably the best Batman cover artist. His Batmans do work. I'll give you that. Because it fits that dark and that kind of gritty style. His Batmans are sick.
You just say, like I said, and for me, Bermejo, that first thing I remember seeing him on was Lex Luthor, the Lex Luthor book that Azzarello wrote. That's the first time I remember seeing his artwork.
Okay.
And I think he did Batman when Azzarello was writing Batman too. I think, or he did the covers. Maybe that's where it comes from.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. But listen, I'm gonna disagree with you drawing on the best Batman cover. I'll tell you the best Batman cover artist is Jason Fabok, without question.
Jason Fabok
is a beast, bro.
Jason Fabok with the Batman of Three Worlds or the Joker of Three Worlds.
Yeah.
Or Three Jokers, whatever it was called. Jeff Johns did. I mean,
yeah.
That was my first kind of really interest. I said, man, Jason Fabok, he doing his business right here.
Oh yeah. That guy's I love his pencil, man. His work, and then when you combine it with with Brad Anderson's colors, those guys they're killer, man. Killer. Yeah. Check it out, figure. If you like Batman artists, man, Jason Fabok, he's dope, man. Yeah. Right. So Marquelon, as a follow-up, how's because the first of Vicious Circle came out like 6 months ago, bro.
I know.
I mean, this is like a good, it's continuing the series. Are you digging it?
I dig it, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I was surprised. I did not know this was coming out. I was like, and then when I got to the comic store and got my pull, because I'm to the point, I go to Sanctum Tattoos and Comics here in Birmingham. They gave me my box. I have like a big box of just stuff I'm gonna get, sort through. I saw that little thing like Vicious Circles. Hey man, give me my Vicious Circle, man. He's like, oh yeah, that's oversized.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm impressed by it, man. I am. And like I said, y'all get on me, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Batman. Robert Pattinson Batman. I think Matt and Thompson wrote that, but Tomlin wrote that. But I like this.
Okay. And how many is this scheduled for?
I have no idea, man. It's hard to get information on this book. It just comes out.
Yeah.
They're like, it comes out. You just get it when it comes out. That's what we talk.
I think in part it's just because you got. I mean, I feel like the interiors have got to take forever, right? You know what I mean?
But it's worth it when it comes out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely see this being a coffee table kind of edition book, what people put on there like, oh, this is art, I mean,
definitely. You know who else Bermejo's art is like that? Liam Sharp is another one. It's just kind of like coffee table, just you flip through.
And we were in the Slack talking about that. Liam Sharp, he popped up this week in Nocturna. I was like, his art, and it was different, but it took me a while to get into it, but I got into it and I did enjoy it.
Okay, sick, man. Oh nope, that's not the one. Figure drawing saying Batman Black and White #6 cover B. Jason Fabok variant is dope. I remember that one. Yeah, man. Fabok is legit. Yeah, he's sick, dude. He's sick. I think I was probably one of my earliest introductions to him when he did. Was it on the New 52? He was doing a lot of the covers. Or was he Doom? What was there was an event, Doomsday, or was that Rebirth?
You talking about Doomsday Clock?
No, not Doomsday Clock. Shit, I got the TPP here somewhere, but yeah, I think it might have been Rebirth. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I digress, man. He's killer, man. He's killer. Yeah.
Sorry, so that was my number 2. You ready for my number 1?
Number 1, okay, let's do it.
Number 1 is Blade, man.
Okay.
Blade. This, I even did a TikTok video on this. I really like somebody do a TikTok video on it. Like, man, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, because I kind of knew this was coming. And if those y'all watching, I'm not the kind of person. I mean, I have League of Comic Geeks, but I don't check it till I actually get to the store to see if I missed something. I actually go in the store like, all right, I don't know what's coming out. I just know they're gonna give me some books. I'm gonna I get my pull books first, then I go to the shelf and look, and I go to the independent shelf and look, and then I sit down and start sorting. I give it the 5-page preview. All right, that's good. That's good. All right. And this Blade blew me away, man. This Blade blew me away, man. Because if you were a fan of the 1998 Blade movie, the beginning of this book is for you. I
Yeah.
had to actually find that music from the Blade movie and put it on my TikTok video.
Oh, I gotta check out your TikTok video now. I loved it. Listen, that's an iconic comic book scene. I think
It is, man. It is. I mean, and basically it's the same premise, man. This chick goes into like, a party and they turn into vampires, and it's like, they finna eat her. And then Blade pops in there, man.
I dig that, folks. For folks who are not familiar, Blade 1998. First of all, an underrated comic book movie, I think. And then you've got that super cool opening sequence with Blade in the nightclub, and you got the techno music in the background and all kinds of craziness. You got blood falling down from the sprinklers, and it's very cool shit, man. And
Man, I was talking about, like I said, I keep talking about my sister because yesterday was her birthday. So I was with her. She's like, "Were you old enough to go see that?" I'm like, "Well, I took myself to go see it, so it didn't matter, because she was a baby. She wasn't even born yet." I'm like, "I was old enough to go see it." That movie blew my mind. I remember.
Yep.
I was like in Atlanta with some guys, and we went to go see it, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Because we saw the trailers, but the trailers did not prepare you for Blade 98. You had no idea this movie was R-rated too, wasn't it, Sergio? I think it was R-rated.
It was R-rated.
You had no idea what you was going to see. I'm going to see Wesley Snipes, because people knew Wesley Snipes from like New Jack City, Passenger 57, stuff like that. White Man Can't Jump. They had never seen Wesley Snipes as this. Wesley Snipes was the man.
Yeah. I mean that was honestly that was during Snipes, like his he was all over Hollywood, right? He was at his peak then.
Yeah, that before he ran some tax problems, because he ended up going to jail for tax evasion years later. I was like, God dang it.
That's why. And also Blade 98, folks, doesn't get enough credit for kind of really
it kicks off the whole comic movie thing. It does. It kicks up the whole comic movie thing.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. And for Marvel specifically, Marvel went bankrupt in the mid-90s. They had sold off a lot of their film,
which is why you see so many characters with some characters were with Fox, some were with Sony, some were Universal. That's why you see that.
Yep. And then they were on the verge of bankruptcy, and then they dropped Blade 98 for a relatively low budget film, and it did pretty good numbers, and it kind of they just said, oh hey, we might have some success with these films and stuff, and then the rest is history, man.
Blade 98 opens it up for X-Men 2000.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Yeah. That's exactly
Spider-Man 2000, all this. Blade 98 is what opens the door for this, man.
For the modern comic book movie, yeah, for sure, man. So that's I try to watch it every once in a while, man.
If it comes up, I see it, I watch it. And and I like Blade 2 as well. The one Del Toro did, Guillermo del Toro did. Because that was just vicious. Those was a vicious, different kind of vampires.
Blade 2. Which one was that?
Blade 2 is the one where the vampires were infected, and they had to have you ever seen the Strain?
Yeah. I remember that.
Basically, it's the Strain vampires, what I call them, Strigoi. Yes. That's what happens in Blade 2.
Hey, Del Toro did that one?
Yeah.
Shit, man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he did that. This is before he got he started winning Academy Awards for The Hobbit and all that stuff. Whatever he won. No, he won an Academy Award for the Lady in the Water, Monster in the Water, whatever it was.
Pan's Labyrinth, I think he won for.
Yeah, that Pan's. Yeah, but it's like when Del Toro was doing stuff like what's that movie Mimic, about the people in the subway and the roaches were like imitating people and stuff like that. Del Toro was on some weird stuff even back then, man.
He's creative, creative weirdo, but I love it, man. And then of course he did the Hellboy stuff, right? So
yep, and Hellboy,
Yeah, cool, man. So I got a question for you, buddy. I don't read Marvel. Can I read this? Is it like pretty like self-contained?
It's a number one issue, man. It's Brian Hill, Elena Casagrade on the arts and colors by Jordi Belair. It is a perfect jumping on spot, man. I mean, it basically sums up everything that people like about Blade. And the weird thing is, man, when Blade got popular, they would put out comic books because comic book Blade was different from movie Blade. Now, comic book Blade is basically movie Blade now.
I'm with that.
But it took them a while to get there, and it was like, all right, it was like every time we would see Blade pop back in the comic, he'd get closer and closer what people wanted, what people saw in the movies.
Mm.
And now I think Brian Hill and Atlanta Casagrade, they finally got what people want. Because I mean, I've been like on Twitter and people talking about, man, this is amazing, this is amazing. It is amazing, and I'm just showing you a little bit. I mean, and it's a story behind it as well. And Blade, the Blade Bloodline had just finished too with about his daughter, you
Mhm.
know, and it was good. But this is just this is if I had to pick, I would pick this one right here.
Okay.
This is the Blade I would say everybody needs to jump on.
Yeah.
Number one just came out this week. I like go get number one. You and I always talk about the number twos. You got to make sure you get the number two because number two is always the hard one to find.
Yeah. Hey, listen. To be honest, you saw me, bro. You saw me. I'm gonna check this one out. 100%. I'm gonna check this one out. Yeah. Curious to see what it's all about, man. So this was your number one.
That's my
Number
number
one.
one pick, man. That Blade, man.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can grab myself a physical copy of one of these guys, man.
Man, I think you enjoy it, man. And sometimes I'm curious to see what the first story arc is because the way it ends, you're like, okay, I didn't expect that. But that's something I've noticed with Marvel recently. Marvel is real. It started with Werewolf by Night to me. That's when I first noticed it. Marvel's really leaning into their horror stuff a lot more. Werewolf by Night, that Disney Plus special, that's the first time I noticed it.
Which is
And
great.
then the comic books, Hulk, Al Ewing's Hulk was really into body horror. Then I
Yeah.
see Benjamin Percy doing that on Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Now we have Philip Kennedy Johnson on Hulk as well,
Yeah.
which was like my number one pick for the month last month. I couldn't believe that.
Okay. I heard good stuff about that. Yeah.
I mean, if you like monsters and horror, body horror, Marvel is really kind of leaning into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I wish I had more time. Like I would like to dig into the Ghost Rider stuff in particular because I've heard Benjamin Percy, first of all, he's a great writer.
Mhm.
And I think Ruben was another one who was telling me, yeah, if you're into like horror, body horror, and like just kind of that dark vibe, I was like, you're gonna dig it. So but just
I,
time.
I mean, it is, and Benjamin Percy is also writing X Force and Wolverine, and he's really been tying Wolverine into Ghost Rider. I think they're gonna do a whole Spirits of Vengeance thing where Ghost Rider's gonna get the Spirit of Vengeance for. I mean, Wolverine's gonna get the Spirit of Vengeance for a bit.
That'd be pretty fucking cool, bro. That'd be sick, man. And of course, Percy wrote Wolverine too. So I mean,
I really like how he's like, this is my corner of the Marvel universe,
I like that.
and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's been consistent, and I think he's a little bit unsung because everybody's gonna sing praise of Al Ewing, what he doing and stuff like that. But
mhm,
Benjamin Percy has been consistent. He's been consistently on X Force. He's been consistently on Wolverine. He's been consistently on Ghost Rider.
mhm.
No breaks. Writing all three of those books. You
Okay,
know, I gotta give him credit for that.
okay, bro. So what was recap your top three for us?
So my number three is gonna be Big Game, Mark Millar, Image Comics.
Okay.
My number two is gonna be A Vicious Circle from Boom Comics, Matt Thomason.
Hmm.
All right. My number one is gonna be Blade, Brian Hill, Marvel Comics.
So an image, a boom, and a Marvel.
And Moon. And I want to throw DC in there, but man,
I like it,
and
bro.
DC isn't bad. I mean, and Ruben and I talked on Twitter about this.
Uh-huh.
Probably Static number 5, The Shadows of Dakota. That's probably my fourth. My fourth. I narrowed it down to 3 right there. That's my DC book of the week.
Okay.
And as somebody recently said, Static is probably one of the best books, or if not arguably the best book DC has out right now.
Yeah.
Because that number 4, when they introduced Ebon, from a lot of people know from Static Shock. Ebon is on some Magneto type stuff. Like, hold up, I control darkness. I control shadows. Let me school you, son.
Okay.
You know, he beat that boy over the inch of his life.
Okay. So enjoying the static over at DC Comics.
Yep.
Okay, man.
And then I think Nocturna from Image, you know, which we talked about earlier with Scott Snyder and Liam Sharp.
Mhm.
You know, and we were in the Slack talking about that. I said, yeah, you know, that Liam Sharp art, it threw me because I
Mhm.
feel like with some song, what's it called, Bill Sienkiewicz type art.
Okay.
I felt that reading it, but once I got through, I thought, let me actually sit there and read it in the quiet. And I said, okay,
Yeah.
I get what he's doing. And I
Okay.
think Nocturna's set to end next month.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, this issue, the Nocturna special, Nemesis special, is like basically like to be concluded. And I'm like, okay, so are they ending it?
Oh, like okay.
The series, because you know,
Series.
I mean, because you know, Nocturna was, you know, it started out really good. You know, okay, you know,
Yeah.
if y'all, those you don't know, Nocturna is basically where darkness has taken over the earth, and basically, if you get caught in the dark, you turn into a monster.
Yeah.
So once again, more horror, basically. And in this world, basically, people there are like different little cities with lights and stuff, or they ain't cities like encampments
Yeah.
of people who have light, and these truckers who lead convoys moving supplies through the darkness and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so that's the plot of Nocturne, you know, Noctera.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find a way to bring the light back to Earth. But you know, Scott Snyder, that that's an interesting concept I've noticed that's running through his books lately. Because what's the book he did um similar to that? You know what I'm talking about? It was like where people have or demons and stuff. Is it if we be demons or something like that? You
We
know what
have
I'm talking about?
demons, or we are demons.
Yeah,
Yeah. I never read that. That's his comicsology joint. That's with
yeah. I mean, but it's a similar premise where like, hey, you know, demons on the Earth, and there's this good you know, we can identify we have this good metal basically that lets us identify them and fight them.
Okay. Um Noctera, you know, I think I'm behind. I know I might be like on issue 9 or something like that.
We have demons. That's the name of it. We
Yeah.
have demons.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you're saying it's set to wrap up soon, man, I need to catch up because it really is. It's a cool premise. I was enjoying that one for
I
sure.
mean, it is. I mean, you know, and like I said, I just notice more, and maybe my taste will change as I get older. I just notice more horror in comics now
Yeah.
because you know you don't want to get caught in the dark because it's almost like you get an infection if you get caught in the dark and you turn into one of these things. You know,
Some
like,
sick,
oh,
some cool stuff. Having said that, curious to see, folks, what are you guys reading? You know, what are you recommending? I want to know. Hit us up, man. You know, want to hear what the folks are enjoying these days, man.
oh, and Serge, I meant to ask you, did you see all 8 eyes this week? That
No, I haven't
finished.
had a chance to read All Eight Eyes.
All
No,
right. Because, you know,
no.
I think you put me on all 8 eyes.
Mm,
I think you put me on all 8 eyes.
mhm.
All 8 eyes was surprisingly good. It was like I would describe it as an action horror comedy.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It leans into like I don't want to say campy,
Hmm.
but it kind of is, you know, like the like anti-trope, you know, kind of cheesy B movie horror flick, right? With some tones of comedy in there for sure, man. Yeah, no,
I
I'm
mean,
digging
I
that.
don't know if it's going to come back or not because it ended, you know, and I'm like, well, I mean, but it was a
Oh,
good, I
it
mean,
ended with this
I,
issue.
yeah, it ended. It's 4 issues,
Oh,
you
shit.
know, which,
Oh, sure.
you know, my pocket is not opposed to that, you know, because I'm like, but I think it was, I mean, I think they stuck the ending on it. I mean, it was like, okay, I could easily see this being a movie on Hulu or Netflix. You know,
Hmm.
like okay, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I can see like a little mini series sound fun, like, you know, leaning into the B movie horror tropes, man. You know, it's cool stuff. Okay. Well, I am pretty. I read the first 2 issues of All Eight Eyes, so I need to read the 2 more to see how Steve Fox, the writer, finished off that series, man. All right, cool. Um, you know, I did. Listen, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. Pretty much these days, Michael, the only books that I'm reading is if I get a review in, and I got a from one of the contributors for the site, And, often I like to read the book just to kind of get context on what our contributors, our writers, are writing about. So, um, uh, having said that, one of the books that I had the opportunity to read was Sirens of the City, #1. This is from Joanne Starrer. She's the writer of The Gimmick over at Ahoy Comics, which is cool. A wrestling centric book. And Kerry Randolph is the artist on this, and he's the artist on Excellence. I think you were reading that series, right?
I love Excellence. I wish if they ever see this, like bring Excellence. I don't know what's going on with Excellence.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would bring it back. I just can't wait for them to bring it back. I'm just like, hey, So like I said, that Jenny Friesen cover on the right, that's what made me see. I said, who is this sister? I was like, who is this sister right here on the cover?
Guy, Friesen, anything Friesen, like she can't miss, man. It simply is gorgeous. I love it, man. I love it. And figure drawing saying the art in Sirens of the City is nice. I agree with you 100%, Holmes. And then show some. So I saw this in the previews like 3-4 months ago, and right away something I like the style. Something about it kind of popped out to me, spoke to me. So definitely wasn't gonna pass up on reading this one, and I gotta say it didn't disappoint, man. It was something. I'll say this one reading. Completely surprised by the direction that the story went in. Like all the synopsis kind of tells us is, we got this young, I think her name is Layla, young girl on the streets of 1987 New York City. She's pregnant. She doesn't want this pregnancy, and she's just kind of trying to survive on the streets. And that's pretty much what we're given. And this book really took the story in a direction that I didn't see. At the end, it's not spoilers to say it's really a kind of like a fantasy book.
It is a fantasy book, and I think one of my other groups I was talking about, I said, man, look, I do not like fantasy. For those of you who follow the show, my guys who came on with me, they'll tell you I do not like fantasy. They've tried to make me read.
Yeah.
I read The Lord of the Rings. I had to read it in high school. They tried to make me read like Elrich and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not touching it. I don't touch fantasy,
Yeah.
But this was good. The
Mhm.
Kerry Randolph art. I mean, the story. I knew you were gonna like because the hip hop background. This is definitely a hip hop aesthetic to this. I knew you were gonna like that.
See, and listen, actually, Marquelon, I'm gonna kind of disagree. I would not say hip hop. I would say it's got a punk aesthetic.
You really feel, and maybe I feel like this because of the boyfriend and his crew.
Okay. Well, I think it's fair to say it's an 80s, very much. They've hit the tone of the 80s. So you got like the punk, and you do got like the hip hop. I don't know if you caught the Paid in Full poster in the background.
We gotta realize this is the 80s, so let's see. I mean, basically, OPP and stuff like that. Naughty by Nature were popular at this point. Cats are wearing Kango because Run DMC is still popular at this point. This is before we hit the Wu-Tang, Bad Boy era.
Yeah.
This is that middle part right there.
Yeah.
So you got LL Cool J, Run DMC, Naughty by Nature, maybe Salt and Pepper,
Yeah. Rakim, Eric B, all that good stuff. No, it was cool, man. Like I enjoyed all the little kind of Easter, I wouldn't say Easter, but just all the other stuff in the background that Kerry threw in there to really give us the sense that we are kind of back in that era, right? The late 80s, man, in 87, man. I thought it was super cool. I enjoyed the art. The story was I like how Joanne kind of unraveled the characters and the plot points and all that stuff. I said, okay, this is very interesting. So definitely recommend checking this one out, folks. And if you head over to House of nerdshow.com, we've actually got something like a 5-page preview of issue number 2.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this book is awesome. I mean, because like I said, I give it the 5-page flip. Like, all right, okay. Oh, that first thing you showed before the end about when she's at the abortion clinic, that's what sold me on the book, man. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Something a little bit different. I honestly, I tell you guys this with 100% sincerity. I don't think I've read anything quite like this. You know what I mean? With kind of just the setting and the tone and everything, what the story's about. This was cool, man. So looking forward to issue number 2. We got a preview up at houseofnurture.com. Go and check it out, man. Get hyped for issue number 2 and number 1, buddy, sold out.
So number 1 did sell out.
Yeah.
That's great for them. Who publishes this again? Is it Boom?
This is Boom, baby.
Man, Boom is coming with it, because especially we had Dragon, we were talking about Boom, Vault, and AWA. They have been coming with it, man. And I would also throw Valiant in as well. But Boom been on it like recently.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for the segue, Michael. And speaking of AWA Heat, baby. I didn't even fix my slides here. Apologies, I don't know. But the madness. So we got hit from AWA with an advanced preview of this bad boy. I think FOC was like,
wait, it's a Straczynski book?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I'm a Straczynski fan from Babylon 5 when I was a kid, man.
Legend J. Michael Straczynski. FOC was this past Monday, but you can still order this guy. Check it out when it hits shops. I want to say early August. The review is up on the site. Non-spoiler advanced review for this one. And check out. I mean, what I will tell you guys, super dynamic art to this one. It's got a cinematic feel. I'll give you basically what was in the synopsis that you can find in preview books because I don't want to spoil. It's about a superhero. Her name, I believe, is Sarah, and basically she's kind of like a Robin Hood. She steals from like the ultra rich to super rich, basically, just to kind of provide for her family to be able to survive. She ends up stealing from someone. She crosses someone. She steals from someone who she didn't want it with. So they put out a hit on her, and they kill off her entire family. Ooh. Again, this is not spoilers. It's in the previews. So I'm giving to you what AW has already put out for us. And there's a really cool twist. This kind of traumatic incident has brought out this evil, this kind of other kind of person in her that she didn't know existed. Turns her into this dark form of herself. And honestly, Marquelon, I was thinking when I was putting these slides together, I said I really feel like you're gonna love this one. I feel like this
I'm a Straczynski fan. I loved his telepaths, from AWA, and the other one. I can think of what it is, the pandemic book where people basically got the powers after
Resistance.
The Resistance, which was so fitting because he was writing that, he wrote that ahead of time, but it came out during the actual pandemic. I was like, man, he's like, I can't make it up, So yeah, I'm a Straczynski fan, and I'll go this far and say this: people will get mad at me. Straczynski, one of the best Amazing Spider-Man writers to ever do it.
Okay.
He got kicked off. I don't know if I ain't gonna say he got kicked off. He left that book controversially, but he was good when he was on it.
Okay.
Because he introduced the whole spider totem and was it an accident the spider bit you? Or, he kind of moved Peter. Well, Peter, let's make you a science teacher. He was the first one kind of play in a different direction. I think Dan Slott kind of picked up those threads and ran with it for 10 years.
Yeah. That's fair to say. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So check it out, folks. AWA's The Madness advanced preview up on the site. Got this kind of international action type feel, man. Yeah, I think you folks are gonna dig that. that's my weekend review, baby. I don't, like I said, I don't get to read much. I mean, I did read a few other things. That's up on the site.
I thought you were gonna say all you read is children's books now.
Well, mostly that too, bro. Mostly that too, man.
You'd be like, my daddy said, read me comic books and go to bed. Like, all right, you can go to bed. I'm gonna read this comic book till you get to bed.
Hey, you know what? I got a poll. Let me check in on the poll question. I got a poll question up. Oh, look at that. This is actually kind of not surprising at all. So I asked the audience, which film do you plan on or have watched first? Oppenheimer and Barbie, and it's currently at 50-50.
Well, we know what Elle's gonna watch. We know that.
Well, let me ask you, what are you planning on watching first, man?
Neither one of them, man. This is the first week in a long time I hadn't been to the movies in a while. I mean, but I did watch movies. I mean, the movie I actually picked this weekend was They Clone Tyrone on Netflix.
Okay, I've been hearing
That's what I
about
picked. And I'm
that.
like, man, and I was surprised by how good that movie was. I didn't have no, I like, I was like, oh, it's a Jamie. One, I want to see Jamie Foxx because Jamie Foxx been sick, you know.
Okay.
But that movie was good, especially John Boyega. I'm like, man, he might get some award recognition for that.
Oh, that good, eh? But
He was that good.
don't avoid the question. You gotta pick one, man. Oppenheimer or Barbie.
I'm gonna pick Oppenheimer, man.
Oppenheimer?
But I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna pick Oppenheimer.
Okay.
One, because I'm a Nolan fan,
Yeah.
and two, a lot of my people have talked about the science and the explosiveness of it. I like old girl that plays Barbie. I can think what her name is right now. Margot Robbie. I like her,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the guy who plays Ken. But I grew up. What's his name?
Cookie, are you there? Help us out. What's Ken's? What's
Ryan
the
Gosling. Ryan Gosling.
Gosling? Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Who was in Dune? He did it.
Ryan Gosling's in Dune.
Yeah. Or Dune. Excuse me.
I'm like, what?
Blade Runner. Blade
Oh,
Runner.
he is Blade Runner 20, which I need to watch. I started watching, I fell asleep on it, but I did, man. But I watched it too late, so I can't. That's not fair.
My guy. Blade Runner 2049 is one of fantastic, bro. It's a top tier film, man.
I based on that, I'm gonna rewatch it. I gotta, add some stuff back to my list.
Put the sound up nice. I hope you got that nice sound system because the score is incredible, bro. Yeah.
You may have sold me on the score, but yeah, that's why I'm leaving because I'm a Nolan fan. But I would say this much also:
Yeah.
I want Nolan to do more fantastical movies like The Prestige or Inception and stuff like that. Or Memento. I liked Memento. Memento was the first Christopher Nolan movie I saw. I was like, this dude is awesome.
Yeah.
I watched Memento so many times.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of folks know Nolan from his latest stuff or like Batman and stuff. For me, honestly, probably my favorite is Interstellar. But right there for me is The Prestige. I fucking love that film.
I mean, Interstellar, I was on my flight back to Brazil and I was like, let me watch it. I'm looking for something to watch, man. This movie was so good, man. I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom. I said, man, I don't want to go. But Interstellar is long, so it is long. You have to commit to watch Interstellar. Like, all right, commit to watching it. And it is slow at times, but I think it has a good payoff in the end.
I love it. Listen, bro. I every time I watch Interstellar, waterworks, bro. It hit every time I watch that scene, and it gets to me, bro. The feels, man.
I mean, but Interstellar has a great payoff.
Yeah,
it has a great payoff. You're like, man, okay.
Cookie bringing the facts here. The prestigious. It honestly is. This is how I can put it. Like, for me, there's certain things that you remember just from watching film. There's a feeling, an excitedness. When we're watching Prestige, the whole film is just top tier, fantastic. And then when they hit us with the twist, with the turn at the end, mind blowing. Like an ending like on par with like Seven's ending. The big Brad Pitt.
Right. I mean, because you'd be like, what's going on here? What's the secret? Because think about it. Hugh Jackman his character, what he was doing. What's his name? Batman. I think it was name. What's his name right now? Oh
The current Batman,
no, Batman before Nolan's Batman.
the Batman
Christian
before
Bale. Christian
Nolan.
Bale.
Oh,
Christian Bale's character, what he was doing.
yeah.
I like, man. And I've heard The Prestige is a novel that Nolan adopted, and I heard the
Okay.
novel goes more into in depth. But I'm like, man, that is one of the smartest movies I've ever seen. Yep, Christian Bale. I was late figuring it out, but I figured it out.
Smart. Yeah, smart
I
yeah,
mean, it is a very smart movie, but
incredibly well written, man. And the performance from Jackman, Bale,
Bale. I mean,
everybody, yeah. Wow. Wow.
and I think during that time they wanted to show like, oh, y'all know us from these superhero movies, but we could do other stuff, that's fantastical. you know,
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to prove.
Yeah. Can I hit you guys with a bit of a hot take here regarding Nolan's film? I feel like his Batman films, I enjoy them, but I don't think they're these big, like, this is like the big best comic book type movie that a lot of folks, or this is the best Batman.
All right, so now we go. All
I
right,
know. I'm
so
sorry. I'm sorry.
no. I mean, I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm gonna say. So what do you think is the best Batman movie? What do you think if it's not Nolan's movies?
Actually, the one that I probably enjoyed of his Batman movies, I really like The Dark Knight Rises. Again, that's
I
the
agree
one
with
that
you.
gets
I agree with you.
the most criticism. People, but I don't know. I liked it better than Batman Begins. Well, that's what I think it is. Figure drawing for me, they were too. Although his Batman films, they were good films. They were too grounded, man. Give me a comic book Batman. I want to. Thank you. Like it just, again, cool films, but they're not comic book movies. They're not. They're not.
I mean, I disagree. First of all, I would say this much: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises are all one movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just conversation with my sister. I said, basically, you need to watch all three of them back to back. So
Yeah.
block out 9 hours or however much long they are.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all one consistent,
Mm-hmm.
one big story.
Yeah.
I personally, I think The Dark Knight is the best one, but I love the ending of The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I love the end of The Dark Knight Rises, and I have that Hans Zimmer soundtrack on my phone. I listened to it this week. That's one of the first movie soundtracks. I said, man, I got to get this on my phone, man.
Yeah. And this is why I love doing this show, and I love talking with the community, because sometimes I've got the thoughts that I can't put them to words, but like honestly, like you guys hit the nail on the head. I never got a Batman vibe from Nolan's run. His Batman were not Batman, and then Cookie co-signing, like for me, The Dark Knight Rises, that first fight with him and Bale in the sewers was fucking fantastic, incredible, And you got Bale. Well, what's his famous line? I was born in the dark type shit. It's just like, oh my.
I mean, and that was the first time I really paid attention to Tom. Because I realized Tom Hardy was in Star Trek. He was in Star Trek Nemesis. He was Shinzon or what, But I didn't know who he was. I mean, but that's when I knew who Tom Hardy was. Basically, when he played Bane in Dark Knight Rises, and then of course he goes into Inception as well.
Yeah. Also, the Dark Knight Rises, I remember watching that in the theaters. That opening airplane sequence on an IMAX screen, it just mind blowing, bro. Like just nuts, dude, man. So for me, that's my favorite of his Batman.
I mean, but I'm agree with you. But I would say I would prefer to add all three of them are the same movie. I mean, I mean it's one big movie.
Yeah.
You may make me go back and watch them all back to back now. Like I've been watching them all back to back. But The Dark Knight, I remember going to the movie to see The Dark Knight. I said, and at this point, The Dark Knight's been out 15 years, so y'all ain't seen it. But the part where a whole girl gets killed, I was like, this is no longer a superhero movie at this point. This is no longer a superhero movie at this point. No.
I don't think it ever was, really, man. And then figure drawing, saying truly great director. Oh, no argument from me there, bro. Like anything he puts out is an automatic, like, he doesn't miss, right? And I'll agree with this as well. Bane should have been Latino, like in the comics. It is what it is. But I thought Tom Hardy as Bane, I thought it was great. having said that,
You know what? I didn't even think about that until you said it. I mean, I didn't even think about it till
mhm,
you said it.
yeah, man. You know, I don't want to put Cookie on the spot here. Cookie, I love the photo of your good girl, and I did tease on the socials that we may have some doggies uh on the show. I tried to get some to come through, didn't come through. So if you're available and your good girl is available, help me out. Don't make me a liar. I just dropped the StreamYard link on the Cookie. If you can, come on through, hop on live for a second with your good girl, and you know, let's see, have a little bit of fun. Um, Tom Hardy is awesome. Yeah, he was, man. He was killer in that, man. I did want to do a quick House of Nerd show check-in, just so you guys, I wanna, because we got some great contributors on the where is that at? On the site here, and I just want to let you guys know what is up, man. What is available? Actually, there you go, Marquelon. Yours was the first one to pop up.
Oh,
Mark, I forgot, Marquelon, you did a review for the House of Nerd Show.com, baby. Star Trek Day of Blood. What can you tell us?
man, if you're a Star Trek, and Star Trek fans eating good right now. They are eating good. But if you're a Star Trek fan, you want to keep eating, get that bonus, that dessert. Check out Star Trek Day of Blood, man.
Yeah.
I love the crossover aspect, of Star Trek,
Mhm.
And I want to shout out Oscar for editing it. And Oscar was like, I feel this, and send me some covers of the different Star Trek comics you read when you were a kid. And I sent him that right there.
Oh, that's so sick, yo. Okay. I like that. Yeah, man. Check it out, man. Marketing with a non-spoiler review of Day of Blood, this big crossover in the Star Trek universe. Honestly, Marketing, I'll tell you 100%.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had no intention of like kind of really reading this, but the passion, the fun,
Mhm.
really comes through in this review. That I was like, shit, like Marcus really got me like, oh, yo, I gotta check this out, man. So this is the fun part, man. That's what we're trying to do,
I
right?
mean, I mean, it's like when I run my book club. Sometimes you're like, hey, everybody tries something. The whole purpose is to try something that you hadn't tried before to see if
Yeah,
you
man.
like it. Everybody's not gonna like everything, but you get
Yeah,
to
man.
read something you never thought you were gonna read before.
And we did Carmen, brand new contributor to the site. Shout out Carmen. Got a great review of Sirens of the City. Again, folks, definitely encourage you guys to check that out. And 5-page preview of issue number 2. What else do we got up on the site, man? Oh, look at that! We got Cookie's fantastic interview with Luana Vecchio, man. Really, really killed this one. This was a lot of fun to read. Like Luana and Cookie really go in depth on the book there, man. You get some tidbits there. So loved it, man. I wanted to get this hardcover at SDCC, but we'll see.
What I'm saying, San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, man.
And my question is, anybody in the chats? Well, we know Oscar went. I would love to hear what their experiences at this year's San Diego Comic Con, because you're dealing with the Writers Guild strike, you're dealing with the Screen Actors Guild strike.
Yeah.
All the people I've seen are directors and people who are not U.S. based. Like I saw the Indian filmmakers. I saw they were there doing their trailer for their movie.
Mark, have you read Lovesick?
I've not read Lovesick.
It is. This is the art. Amazing.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong, baby. Come on. Like, what are we talking about here, folks? Just quality stuff. What's Cookie saying?
Just
She
very
was
generous
very generous
with
with her responses. Yeah, man. For sure. Luana is great. Always been very supportive of the House of Nerd. What did I do there? Why is it looking like that? What else? And I think there was a few. Oh, Jiren hitting us with his thoughts on the first 2 episodes of My Adventures with
And I
Superman.
meant to talk to you about this, Sergio. We
Yeah,
didn't get a chance to
yeah.
talk about this because I was like, you a Superman fan. Have you watched this show? How do you like it?
Haven't had the opportunity, but I promise you I'm gonna watch it, man. It looks fun, and I've been hearing
It
good.
is fun. They 4 episodes in, but I like I was watching episode 4 last night, and I think I fell asleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. So that's why I fell asleep on it or the end of it.
Okay.
But I love the diversity. It's an anime feel. It's
Okay.
wholesome, but it has an anime feel to it.
Okay.
But I love the diversity of it because I was like, wait a minute, Lois is Asian in this. It just really hit me last night. Lois is Asian in this.
Lois is Asian.
Lois is Asian.
Oh.
The episode last night, they showed her dressed up and she dressed in like, Asian attire. And I like, let me go look at the actress. And sure enough, the actress is Asian. So I'm like, well, I'm like, okay, well, Lois is Asian then. And of course, Jimmy is black, African American, Perry is black, African American.
Oh,
Clark is
really?
Clark.
See, I
Yeah.
didn't know any of that. That's interesting.
And they changed Ron Troop because Ron Troop traditionally in the comic book is like a black writer on Daily Planet. In this, he's a female, maybe a Latina female, who goes by Ronnie Troop. I guess short for Veronica. So I
Oh,
like
okay,
I like
okay,
how
okay. Got you.
I like the diversity of it.
Mhm.
People go, oh, you're changing it. I'm like, man, but I get this argument all the time with both black people, white people, etc. I'm like, the only reason these characters are the way they are is because the person who created them, that they are fictional people. They
Mhm.
can be anything you want them to be. The
It's
only
crazy.
reason they way because that's what the writer just had in mind.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm gonna check it out. Once I have the opportunity. What would you say is the tone of
Playful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very playful. The premise is that basically Lois, Clark, and Jimmy are all interns at Daily Planet. So, which is, because usually Clark is coming to Metropolis Daily Planet and she's already established. And she's not established. She's been there maybe a year longer than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy and Clark come together and then they're roommates. And Lois has been an intern, been there a year longer than they have. And she's assigned to kind of mentor them as the senior intern. But they
Okay.
all trying to break the story. And the story is Superman.
Okay. See, that's when you said playful. That's all that I need to
It
hear.
is definitely playful.
You know?
I've had some people tell me they don't like it. It's boring. I'm like, but it's playful, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
it's definitely like, let's see, let me think what's it's definitely like Injustice Superman because I think I happen to rewatch Injustice, DC animated Injustice movie again, where he knocking through people's bodies and stuff like that. It ain't that.
Hey, speaking of did you see the news on those animated films? We're getting an animated Watchmen,
I saw that.
which I'm pretty high. Listen, I'm a big Watchmen fan, so I know a lot of people are like, oh, why you don't need an anime? I don't know. I want to see that. I'm super hyped for that, man.
I want to see it too because I'm curious to see how they do it. I'm curious to see. So we have the traditional Watchmen graphic novel, which is like hailed as probably the greatest graphic novel in the world at this point. And then you have, the Watchmen movie, which I enjoy, but a lot of people like it fell short. And you have the Watchmen TV series too, which I think was excellent.
I think. Listen, the Watchmen TV series. Hey, good morning, Chris. What's going on with Chris there? And is that an animated Chris or your skin? Very. Look at that. Looking very smooth there, my man. What's going on, bro? Thanks for coming through, man. No, we were saying, listen, the Watchmen movie is an all-time comic book movie, like all time for me, like top three easy. And then the TV show was just wicked. I will say though, I did not like the ending. I didn't.
The,
I
the
didn't
ending
like
was
the
left ambiguous though. It was left ambiguous though.
even. I think it was left ambiguous, but I think it's kind of leading if you watch the whole series, like where it ended up. So his wife ends up having the powers of Doctor Manhattan,
I
and I
mean,
don't like that. I'm sorry. Like what makes Doc Manhattan special is that he's the only one. This is his. You know what I mean? And I don't.
uh-huh.
I like that just in general with superheroes. I don't need a million Wolverines. I don't need a million. You know what I
Well,
mean?
but
In
you
particular
argue. I
with
mean,
Doc
at this
Manhattan.
point, Doc Manhattan is gone though. He's like he left
Yeah,
his wife a gift. So it's like, hey,
yeah.
and I mean, I remember seeing that because that's Watchmen I think led to Lovecraft Country a lot, and people like, man, it was as a resurgence of like I would say particularly black people in science fiction and horror. Like, hey, were they not just getting killed and stuff like that? They're like, oh, this black woman is going to be God, basically. That's how we love this black woman is about to be God.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly I didn't care for it at all. But having said that, Martin, it is an absolutely top. tier comic book series, and just good television and just in general, man. And then figure drawing saying here, Watchmen TV series
Yes,
greater than Watchmen.
I agree. I agree with figure drawing on that. You know,
Oh, you know what? Even though they're both they're kind of, I don't know, apples and I don't. They're not quite apples and oranges, but it's tough to compare them.
I
I
mean,
don't. I don't think
they are different. I mean,
I guess
Watchmen the movie is an action adventure essentially. It's got some thriller aspects to it, some mystery
Mhm,
aspects to it.
mhm.
Watchmen TV series is like we gonna act and we gonna show y'all some nuance on a level y'all never seen before. Even the whole thing about reparations or reparations.
Mhm.
I was like,
Reparations, yeah.
you know, and I literally had this conversation with my grandma about this. You know, about the Tulsa, the bombing in Tulsa, Black Wall Street. A lot of people, you know, I went to HBC, Historic Black College and University here in the states in Atlanta, Georgia, Morehouse. I learned that in my history class. The majority of Americans do not know that actually happened. They thought they
No.
made that up. That actually happened.
Yes. You're absolutely right. So when I found out that was true, that blew my mind. And then of course I started looking into the history, and I'm like, wow, this is like really, like, so it's cool that the Watchmen kind of brought that history to the masses. You know what I mean? Very cool. Christopher saying here, I love the director's cut of Watchmen. And actually, Christopher's co-host Emmett was saying that's Watchmen is Emmett's all-time favorite comic book movie. So I'm going to pose this to the audience. Where does it land for you guys? Is it top five, top 10, top three? I mentioned to Marquelon, easily top three for me. You know,
I don't know what's top three for me. I mean, so much stuff has came out since then too. I mean, when I think top three, first thing pops in my mind is Avengers Endgame comic movies.
okay.
That's the first thing pops in my mind. Avengers Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
and really Endgame and Infinity War the same thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then at this point, I'm gonna say Across the Spider Verse is my number two. You know, is in there in my top three as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to think about number three, man. I'm about to
It's
think about
tough,
that.
I know. I mean, off the top of my head, I'll tell you, Man of Steel,
Okay.
Watchmen, okay, and then and I mean, I'll probably, to be honest, I'm probably gonna have to sneak in Across the Spider Verse, but if not Across the Spider Verse, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones there. Like I like Infinity War. You know, Infinity War was, I thought, incredible. It's tough to do a top three. I could give you a top five, but
Yeah.
like I would have 100% Watchmen and Man of Steel in my top three. That doesn't change.
I could see Man of Steel on there. I think I'm gonna pick Dark Knight, but I definitely can see Man of Steel on there because Man of Steel is probably our generation Superman. Like a lot of people's generation Superman is Christopher Reeve. That's
Mhm.
probably our generation Superman. I mean, I'm gonna be honest and say, you know, I'm hurt that as of right now, we're not gonna see Henry Cavill being Superman anymore. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
especially since he's still here. You know,
It's crazy. He got the short end of the stick. But I mean, you know what? Having said that, I think that's been discussed. So I'm looking forward. Like a lot of the stuff that's coming out of the DCU news is just it's sounding great. So like
oh, it reminds me of a rumor I heard, man. I want to get your thoughts on this, man. I've heard that that Zaslav basically plans on like selling the DC movies to Universal. That's like his long term plan.
I hadn't heard any of that really. Right?
It's a crazy rumor. I'm like, man, but they said that's his plan. Like, all right, and they said James Gunn and people in Saffron know. Like, all right, this the plan. I'll bring y'all in here to reboot this thing, but the plan is we're gonna sell to Universal because Universal is flush with cash with these Fast and the Furious movies, and they're looking for something next to go to once that finally runs out of steam.
Wow. I
You know.
mean, as long as I mean, I don't know that I'd necessarily be against that. I mean, as long as it doesn't mess. I just want stability for the DC films, right? I want kind of like a plan, like
Well,
not
I mean,
all over the place.
but we all over the place because it's the same reason we're doing this writer strike and this screenwriters guild strike. Because I've been reading this stuff I'm like, man, yeah, I want to get these people to be in a movie and pay them $200 and use their image indefinitely.
Hmm.
Y'all want people to write a series for you and pay them what? Some crazy amount like 80 cents or $1.10 for them
Ridiculous.
something they wrote
Yeah.
in perpetuity. I'm like, and they always claim they ain't make no money, but they always. But somebody was like, man, if you're
Great.
not making any money, then why are you doing these multi-million-dollar franchises?
Yeah. 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 Hey, hold on. What is going on here? Interview with the Vampire News. Hit me. I've been out of the loop. What is going on? Please, someone fill me in. Marquelon, are you? Do
No,
you
you know
want
what?
to
But I have AMC Plus, and I was actually looking at the trailers for that. Because I got AMC Plus. Let me tell you my story. So I finally got a Roku. So when
Okay.
I got a Roku, you can sign up the channels and stuff like that. So, oh, let me do
Welcome
this.
to the modern world, my friend.
I know I finally got one. Because we still have a satellite and go through that. But I was like, but watch a lot of stuff on streaming. So
Mhm.
got the Roku, and I said, oh, I got MGM Plus. Everybody keeps talking about From. I said, let me get that, and I want to watch Godfather Harlem season 3.
Okay.
I got Shutter because I want to watch. I wanted to watch VHS 93 with 99 and 94, which
Hmm.
I did watch, and I'm watching Creep Show.
Okay.
And then I got AMC because I wanted to watch Interview with the Vampire and the Mayfair Witches, but I
Okay.
still haven't got to that yet.
Okay. Listen, interview with the vampire. So Chris saying we've got a new trailer for season 2. Wow, really? And an interview with Sam Reed. It sounds great. I'm gonna have to check that out as soon as the stream ends.
But
Listen,
but see, I love that San Diego Comic Con news. I mean, they've been dropping some stuff. Now you saw what dropped yesterday from last day San Diego Comic Con. They dropped a new episode of Invincible on Amazon Prime. Adam Eve prologue.
the new trailer. I haven't watched that
No,
yet.
they watched it. They dropped an episode yesterday.
They dropped an episode for Invincible season 2.
Yes,
Stop.
it's the Adam Eve origin episode.
Oh my goodness. What is going on? I gotta like.
Then and then they dropped a new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the crossover between Strange New Worlds and the animated Lower Decks. They dropped that yesterday.
So one is live action and one is animated,
It
and there's
starts, yeah, Lower Decks is the animated Star Trek
yeah.
series set after Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager.
Oh,
They crossed over and played live action versions of themselves on Strange New Worlds.
oh, really?
Yes.
That's very, very cool, man.
I was like, this is
Very
probably the best episode of Star Trek I've seen this season. Which Star Trek is, like I said, Star Trek with Picard. People ate good off of that. Strange New Worlds, people eating good off. I mean, this is a good time to be a Star Trek fan, man. But they
The
dropped that yesterday
trailer
as
is
well.
so good. I'm hyped. Oh my goodness! You guys watch the show. You guys know how much I love season 1. Probably only behind Severance. Severance, and then Interview with the Vampire. My favorite.
All right, that's high praise because I finally did watch Severance early this year.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, if it was here, I'm almost done with season 2 of The Bear. I'm almost done with season 2 of The Bear, so
Okay.
I'm almost caught up on that.
Okay.
Severance was fire because Severance had me at the end of Severance. I was like, no, like get it out before
Oh, that ending was top tier. The whole season I thought was magnificent. And then I haven't watched The Bear season 2 yet, but I heard it's even better.
I saw the episode. I mean, I kind of have it on my feeds and stuff. People are like, oh, there's too much stunt casting in The Bear and blah 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 blah. But the episode they're talking about, where a lot of people, guest actors in there, that is a great episode, and it's
Yeah.
some masterclass on acting. And a lot of people say, man, if you were in Chicago area with Italians or Polish people, this is how they really act around the holidays. This is why people don't like going home for Christmas and Thanksgiving. The way they acted in this episode.
I can't wait to watch it, dude. I keep hearing about episode 6 of season 2.
I think that's it. I think that's it. That's the episode where they have all the guest stars in there, and they were like, somebody said, "This is why people don't want to go home for the holidays." Right here.
Shit, Chris. Yes, please. If you have the opportunity, DM me the trailer. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch. I'm hyped for that. Hey, listen. I'm just saying, putting it out there. Maybe we do some fun for interview with the vampire here on the channel, man. Maybe get you guys on and we'll talk
So
some.
yeah, and I'm gonna have to watch it because it's what 6 episodes interviewed. Is it 6 or 8?
I think it's shorter. Yeah, I think it might only be something like 6.
Yeah,
but it's really good.
Really
good.
My guy Marcus, like he said, he's like episode 5 is one of the best I've ever seen on television, and I'm like, man, I need to watch it. But I'm like you, man. Like you got to make time to watch it and finish it. It's like
that's the thing. That's the thing. And figure drawing sing, I still need to watch the Bear season 2. I'm on the same page. I haven't even started it, man. I haven't had the opportunity
But you
to.
saw the Bear had some Emmy nominations too. They got outstanding comedy series. They got lead actor for Jeremy Allen White that plays Carney. Supporting actors for Ayo Edebiri,
Yeah.
that plays the sister on there, and I mean, and then the guy that plays cousin, he got nominated too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, I mean, I was like, okay.
And see, this for me is I've been hearing it consistently. Cookie saying figure drawing, it's so good. I liked it more than the first season, and
I
that's saying a lot.
I
I get it.
agree. I agree. I mean, first season of Bear was good. I'm like, all right, I see why y'all like it. But the
Yeah.
second season is like, okay,
Wow.
let's roll up our sleeves because they do a lot of character development episodes and focus on different characters. And
That's
that's
gonna
what
be
you like to
fun.
see. You get to see people grow. Like, all right, well, this is what happened to us, and now let's show how we gonna grow in season 2.
Yeah. Like that's big praise, man. Because I thought season 1 was like, again, some of the best television I watched last year. So
But I didn't get it, and maybe because I worked in a restaurant, so like that was kind of appealing to me. I didn't work in that kind of restaurant, but I've worked in a restaurant where it's like a lot of pressure, like we got to get stuff out.
okay.
But also, I think I have a higher appreciation of the Bear now because I started watching a lot of cooking shows and competition cooking and stuff like that. So to get to the level that he was at, like, oh, you at the number one restaurant. I mean, that's not easy to do. It's
Hmm.
not easy at all.
Hmm.
And my city, Birmingham, has a couple of Michelin star restaurants, or James Beard and Warner restaurants. I hadn't been to them, but it's like everybody comes like, oh, I've got to go to this restaurant because they're on the list.
Yeah. No, man. I'm very much looking forward to. And I just didn't get the chance to just back on that Watchmen talk. Figure was saying I'm biased. For me, Watchmen the comic is one of the goats. Hard agree. And I thought the movie was, I. That's fair. Listen, I get it, man. You know me. I thought it was a great adaptation of the comic. I thought it's probably one of the most accurate comic book adaptations, but also he did change. He did change enough. He did tweak things enough to make it, I guess, work for film. Like I liked he got rid of the whole octopus thing. I don't know how that would work
Yeah,
for
that that
film.
that that was not gonna work.
Um, yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. He says I'm not mad at the Watchmen movie though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you've worked in a restaurant, the break gives you PTSD.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I've waited tables. I've done banquet serving. I've waited tables at like Steak and Ale, and I waited tables when I came back to Birmingham. I did in a family owned Italian restaurant. So yeah, and it's like when you be busy and they get into stuff. My dream was to do a show called Steakhouse. Like, you never know what goes on behind the doors of America's favorite restaurants because working in restaurants is a culture. It's a subculture. It's a
Mm,
subculture.
hmm.
And when you work in a restaurant, basically you kind of cut off from like everybody else. Because when everybody else is off, you working. When you off, they working. That's kind of how it is. So
Yeah.
the people in the restaurant become like your makeshift friends and family because you stuck with them all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hey, listen, man. What I can say, excuse me, I've never worked in a restaurant, but I'll tell you this much: watching, watching The Bear, season 1. I haven't watched season 2. I got stressed. It made me stressful. I had to take a break from watching the Marquelon. Like legit, I said, why do I have like hardcore anxiety right now? Like I've never, like no other kind of content has given me that kind of a visceral reaction. So, strength to the writing and the performances, man.
Yeah, and I see Cookie. What you say, Steak and Ale. I miss those having. Yeah, Steak and Ale. I think is out of business, but they were based out of Plano, Texas. I used to work in the one in Atlanta when I was in college, and I mean,
Steak and Ale, what is that, bro?
it's basically a steak restaurant,
Uh-huh,
and they had like a salad bar,
uh-huh.
and you'd have like you could get appetizers like escargot and stuff like that. And when I was there, you used to have the white shirt, the white long sleeve button down white shirt with a black apron.
Okay.
And then I think when I left, they switched to like these gray kind of shirts, short sleeve shirts and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so it was a steakhouse,
Oh,
and
it's
of
like a
course, yeah,
chain. It's a chain
yeah,
in the
yeah,
States. Okay, gotcha.
And you had steak and you had ale.
Oh, okay, I see. That's an American thing. Okay.
He's an American. He's a. I gotta come on to Canada, man. Y'all gonna make me come to Canada and kick it with y'all one day. Get my money right.
Bro. You gotta come up for like Fan Expo, man.
I gotta come up there for some time. I gotta
100%. It's great, man. Hey, another reminder next week, baby. We hype. Chip Zdarsky, Jacob Phillips. Shenanigans are gonna be in full effect. We got some fun things planned for you guys, man. So be sure to tune in. That's at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern. It was so crazy. We're trying to schedule with Chip and Jacob. They're like, yeah, 11 a.m. works. Marquelon's like, nah, I can't do it. You guys gotta work around me. 1 p.m.
Don't play it on me, but I always enjoy the later one.
I said, okay.
I always enjoy the later times because y'all.
Oh man. Did we lose Marquelon? Was he is he frozen?
Can y'all hear me now?
I see you now. I hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying, I grew up going to the 11 a.m. service at church. So,
hey, listen, my man, I'll never be mad at that, man. You gotta go do your thing. I love it. I love hearing that. I did, folks. I did want to just touch on, talk about. Excuse me. Where did it go? The E�𝐸𝐸𝐬𝐸.
yeah, let's get on that. Let's get on that.
Yeah, man. Let me share that because I want to know. I don't know. I only know a few of the winners. Here we go. So, like this right here, DC Comics garners the most trophies. That's pretty
I did not know that because I think Image had the most nominations, right? Image had the most nominations going in there.
I mean, Image and Marvel are usually the ones to have like the most nominations and the most wins. So that's pretty cool.
Man, let me just cut to the chase on here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna blame you for this, Sergio, and I told you I was gonna blame it for you.
Okay.
Rodney Barnes lost because you didn't vote.
So I was telling Marquelon a few weeks back. I'm eligible to vote. I vote for the Eisners every year. But this year's been crazy, a little bit different. So I missed my opportunity to vote, and now I don't know if they don't release the voting numbers, but Marquelon told me if Rodney Barnes loses because I didn't get my vote in, with apologies to Rodney, man. But listen, man, he got nominated, which is like that's big time, bro. For any of these guys. So here are the winners. Best short story, Finding Batman by Kevin Conroy and J-Bone, DC Pride 2022. Okay.
Which is this is Kevin Conroy that passed away, right?
That's what I was like. That's like the voice actor. Are we talking about here?
Yes, that's who wrote that.
Oh, yeah. So he won an award, a posthumous win then.
Yep.
Okay. See, now I haven't read his works, and I don't mean to discredit, but I always wonder about that when I see or I hear that, like, oh, you're giving an award to someone, post death, excuse me. Like, are they winning it because, kind of like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, did they win on the merits of the content, or is it kind of just like, hey, let's give it to this guy because he passed away or whatever, right? So, I don't
like
to be like
Kevin Conroy and J-Bone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I picked up DC Pride in 2022, but I would go back and look at that. I mean, DC Pride stories, pretty much all the DC anthology books.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Power, the Asian American, the Latino, all of them are pretty good. So I mean, I believe it. If they say he won, I believe it.
Okay. So you're not as jaded as I am. Clearly,
nah, I'm not jaded.
Okay. The next one, best single issue one shot, Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler.
But I called this one too. I think Elle was here on that show, and I'm like, this is probably the best Riddler story I've ever read in my life. I think I said that. We can go back to record. I think I said that then.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think a lot of folks. This was a very well received issue. I kept hearing time and time again, "Oh, this is great. So, okay, that's pretty cool." And then another DC. Another
But before you
DC.
go to that one, I want to say, well,
Go
you
ahead.
know else was not nominated in this category? A Vicious
Huh?
Circle, #1 was in this category.
Oh,
Star Trek 400 was in this category.
okay.
So I mean, there were some different books in this category, So, but I'm
Some
like, yeah, that Batman One Bad Day. I'm like, yeah,
heavy
that's the best
hitters.
thriller story I've ever read.
Do you have the complete list there, Marklin?
Yeah, I got a complete list. Mary Jane, and Black Cat Beyond, and Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood, #3.
Okay. Best continuing series, Nightwing by
All
Tom
right.
Taylor. I've heard good things. Who else was in this category?
So Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil was in that category.
Yeah.
The Department of Truth by James Tynion IV and
Uh,
Martin Simmons was in that category. Philadelphia, which
mhm,
which
mhm,
lost because you didn't vote,
mhm.
and She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell was in that category. So
Honestly, I definitely I would have gone with Philadelphia there. You know, I think just for the fact that what he's doing is it's an original story, and we've never really gotten, and it's I'm doing a disservice. It's just to call it a vampire story because it's so much more at this point where they're
right.
taking a story. So yeah,
And this
okay,
is what I'm gonna say. This is what I heard the most of people like, oh, I can't believe they gave it to And I said, look, I read Tom Taylor's Nightwing. It is probably the best Nightwing we have had in years.
okay,
It is, especially coming off the Rick Grayson stuff that everybody hated.
that was a good
And
one.
and then him and Bruno Redondo on their art. I mean, but I'm with you on this. What Rodney Barnes, Jason Alexander doing in Philadelphia, especially the last issue. I think issue number 30, whatever it was, about his friend. I thought that was gonna push them over right there. I really did.
With the Spawn crossover. Yeah,
Yes, that ended on that.
that's insane. That's
I
pretty
I
cool.
thought that was gonna push them over, but yeah, I don't know. And maybe Sergio. So is Eisner voting based? Is it like you have to read comments from a certain time period, or is it like up until voting closes? You can just like they say you can only consider stuff that came out in 2022.
Yeah,
And
I think it's like what's eligible is like from a certain like for I don't know the exact date, but from like certain month in the year to this certain month, right? Like you take into consideration. Um, but yeah, so I mean, perhaps like the last few issues were not taken. I think it actually came out after voting had closed, anyway. So yeah. Best limited series, The Human Target. Human Target was very
what
good. So
which also doesn't surprise me because you and I have talked about the human target. So I mean, so let's see, let's see, Animal Castle
okay,
from Ablaze was in that category. Batman Bad Day was in that category. Miracle Man by Gaiman and Buckingham, that was in that category. Miracle Man on the Silver Age and Superman the Space Age. But the Human Target was good. It
I,
was
I
it was good.
yeah, I think for me, definitely, I think that was a clear cut. The Human Target. That was just listen. Greg Smallwood killed it on interiors. I love that aesthetic, that kind of 50s kind of vibe it had to it, and then just the writing, like I swear to God, I said somewhere on one of the past episodes, I said this is probably for me anyways, my favorite Tom King writing. It was just so like it was so smart and just there's so many little kind of intricate things that he does with the writing style, like from one kind of panel to the next, one page to the next, like little things. It's kind of difficult to put into words, but it was really good, man.
You
So
know what? I'm gonna stop here because Tom King to me, he blew up off of Mr. Miracle a couple
uh-huh.
years ago, and everybody was talking about that. But
I could do
but I
say
think
give the good girl a little pat on the butt for me, you know.
you
Try
know,
to
and,
get there.
and I think but my favorite was Strange Adventures. Although
Okay.
Human Target is probably right up there with Strange Adventures. And I hope James Gunn does do his version of Strange Adventures because I see he's already cast his Mr. Terrific, and I see he's
Um,
posted a scene from Strange Adventures on his Instagram or Twitter or something as well. So I'm like, all right, if James Gunn does his version, a DC live action version of Strange Adventures with Mr. Terrific, we good.
That'd be cool. Can I be honest though? I'd rather get a Mr. Miracle. I want to see Mr. Miracle, Big Barda on the big screen. Like, give us the new God stuff, man. I want to see that. You know.
I mean, I agree, but James Gunn may do, he may take a swing at that, but New Guys to me is hard to translate, especially in the wake of Eternals, because casuals. I'm like, oh, this is just like Eternals. I don't understand. This is just like Eternals. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, man. Hopefully one day us nerds can get that. So Tom King, he's got 2 awards.
He's got 2 so far, yeah.
Wow. Next is Best New Series, Public Domain. Chips Zdarsky, we got him next week, baby.
All right. And let's see what else we had in the category. We had The Atonement Bell by Jim Owsley and Tyler Ruff from Red 5. Love After Everlasting, which Tom King again was nominated for something. Star Trek.
What was the last one, buddy?
Tom King got nominated for Love Everlasting as well.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Traveling to Mars by Mark Russell from Ablaze. So I mean, think about this, man. So Red 5, Image, IDW, and Ablaze. Marvel wasn't even in this category for Best New Series.
Crazy. I really like that. I really like that. We're getting all these great indie books in these categories, right? It's not just stacked with like the big 2 kind of stuff, or just image books, right? Like Atonement Bell from Red 5. Again, I'm just like, listen, I gotta say, this is the House of Nerd. We're like on the pulse of like good shit here. You know what I mean? Like we covered issue 1 of Atonement Bell. We got the review copies from Red 5, and I said, "Well, this is so cool. This is digging it." So, I mean, it's still kind of surprising to see such a small indie publisher, up with these heavy hitters. But it's pretty cool, Marquelon.
I agree, man. I agree.
Okay, and then we got like some. We'll skip over these categories here. We got like best publication for early readers, things like that.
Can you do best publication for teens aged 13 through 17? You see that?
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. So best publication for teens aged 13 to 17. Go ahead, Michael. I'll let you do this.
Do a power bomb, man. I mean, and I called Do a power bomb. Remember, I called it early. I said this is going to win. And this is Daniel Warren Johnson's first Eisner, because I saw him posting about it. People are like, oh man, you in there now? You don't made it. You don't broke through. I'm happy for him, because Do a Power Bomb was so good. If you love wrestling and you love comic books, I even say if you love Mortal Kombat, you'll love this book.
I'm kind of surprised to see it in this publication for teens.
I was the same thing, because I was like, this is definitely adult subject matter.
Okay. Who are the other?
Chef's Kiss by Jared Melendez and Danica Breen from Oni. Clementine Book 1 by Tilly Walden, Image Skybound. Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Ousman, Scholastic Graphics. And Wash Day Diaries by Jamila Rouser and Robin Smith Chronicle Books.
Yeah, I'm not even. Other than Clementine, I was
thinking Clementine's the only one I knew for sure. Okay. And Clementine to me shouldn't be in this category either. It's about zombies, basically.
That's interesting. Let's go down to best graphic album, new.
Let's see.
We got The Night Eaters.
The Night Eater, She Eats the Night. Marjorie Lewis. Okay. But also we had The Book of Niall by Barry Jones, Elle and Beatty. Crushing by Sophie Burrows, Allegan Young Readers, and Ultrasound by Connor Steschultz, Fantagraphics.
Yeah, not too familiar with. Night Eater is probably the only one really.
Well, I'm looking at Ultrasound right now. And it says in this graphic novel, which has been adapted to feature film star Vincent Cartossier from Mad Men, Glenn and Cindy become unwanted test subjects in a mind control experiment after a strange sexual encounter. They search for answers as their own members become tools for manipulation. This looks interesting. I'm like,
Mm,
this looks, strangely weird. You know,
okay. Anything else? I mean, what else do we got here? The big. Okay, here are the big categories. Best writer, Tinian. I mean, that's the second year in a row now. I don't think this is a surprise. I
but
don't.
but last year I said the same thing. I said Tinian's going to win because Tinian writes so much stuff, but he writes different stuff.
Yeah,
And Tinian actually, Tinian is back on Twitter. He quit Twitter for a while.
yeah.
So he came back for San Diego Comic Con. He basically came back doing victory lap, like,
Yeah.
I mean, he in the I mean, he got the jacket and stuff on. And when it showed his arms, it was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
stun on y'all real quick, and I'm gonna disappear again.
Oh man. So who are the other guys in the best?
Grace Ellis flung out of space. Abrams Comics Arts, Tom King, Mark Russell, and Chip Zdarsky. And Chip Zdarsky was nominated for Stillwater and Daredevil. They didn't put Batman on the list.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like based on just those guys who was in that, I would give it to Tinian. I would.
I mean, Tinian he got nominated for House of Slaughter, Something's Killing the Children,
Yeah,
Nice House on the Lake, Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Closet, Department of Truth.
yeah. I mean, it's close because Zdarsky, he's got Newburn, right? Which again, I think is super. Like I like how you put it, super tight, really great story, great pacing, and then the art, was killer in that. And then he's got Batman, which has been a whole lot of fun. Stillwater, great story. So I mean,
I got to finish Stillwater too.
yeah,
I think we talked about. I think Stillwater is over. I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, James just does so much, man. So much. I don't know how the hell he does it.
And we forgot he just added World Tree.
World Tree to that
I
too.
mean, in World Tree, I mean, it's probably one of the best new series to hit
Yeah,
2023. I
yeah.
was on the fence. I mean, on that first one, but I think we're on the second one or third one now. I'm
Okay.
like, all right, I'm digging World Tree. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I feel like it's this and I didn't read this completely, but I feel like it's this era's Transmetropolitan, like
I
kind
like
of
that.
like punk, like we out there on the fringe doing stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. And then the next category, best writer artist. I don't know why don't they just call it best cartoonist? Kate
Mm,
Beaton is the winner for Ducks, 2 years in the Oil Sands. And actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's a Canadian cartoonist.
that would not surprise me.
I believe. I'll do a quick Google search while Markelin, you
Yeah.
who are the other guys?
Zoe Thurgood. Now that's who I thought was gonna
Oh,
win. Zoe
well,
Thurgood, as long as because even though I hadn't read it, all y'all talk about it all the time.
okay,
As long as it's Center of the Earth.
yeah,
Junji Ito, Black Paradox, The Luminal Zone, Espe, The Pass,
uh-huh.
and Sarah Anderson, Cryptic Club.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll be honest. The only one I read out of those was Zoe's Thurgood's. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth, but that was in my top. I don't know. Let's say top three, top five of books I read all of last year.
I
Really,
mean,
really,
everybody who's read that has said nothing but good
yeah,
things about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So okay, and I did check Marklin. She is Canadian. So shout out. I'm not even mad. Shout out Kate Beaton. Congratulations, fellow Canuck, fellow Canadian. Yeah, yeah. I remember. I think we might have even. I might have to check the emails. I think we might have gotten a review copy of that bad boy. Best penciler inker, our best penciler inker team. Smallwood for the Human Target. I'm with that, baby. I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So it was him,
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Redondo for Nightwing, Sean Phillips, Follow Me Down, The Ghost in You, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Nice House on the Lake, Jason Son Alexander, Philadelphia, Nita House, Nightmare Blonde. So
What a
Smallwood beat your boy, Jason Son Alexander.
woo, woo. Well, listen, I think of all the categories so far, that's the toughest. That is stacked.
I mean that was a stat category.
Who you going with, Marklin?
I mean, I'm fine with Smallwood doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
because Smallwood did an excellent job, especially I think my favorite issue is the issue where they broke Guy Gardner. That's my favorite issue. Um, but I would actually lean well. I lean more towards Jason Sean Alexander, but also Martinez, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Nice House on the Lake. I
Yeah,
like that, and
yeah,
I like Bruno Redondo too. I mean, it just depends what you want, you know.
yeah.
I mean, that was you know, you really couldn't have went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would like to, like I said, just I would like to see Philadelphia win something because I think Philadelphia is going to come to an end. So I like it needs to win something before it ends.
Oh, you think it's coming to an end? So I thought he said he had at least like 40 issues planned for that or something.
We on issue 30 now, man.
Yeah, we still got like a solid 10. Yeah,
No,
we
I'm
good.
saying that'll be over next year.
Yeah, true. Like a year to go. But listen, I love Bueno's art in Nice House on the Lake. But the thing with that, as good as it is, a big part of what makes that so great is I believe it's Jordi Belair on colors.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
that,
and I
oh,
agree because you know,
gorgeous. So whereas Greg, he does the pencils and the colors, right?
right.
So
Which
um
I'm sure the artists are looking at that, you know, they're like, all right, we got to look at how they do it and stuff like that. And I
mhm.
wonder, is there a discrimination? Do you do it by hand or do you do it by computer? How do the people look at that as well?
Like digitally versus traditional.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. I think yeah, a lot of those are digital. So many of the artists are digital these days, right? Um let's see, let's go down to best cover artist. Bruno Redondo won that one for Nightwing.
All right. So we had Jen Bartel for She-Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Ross, Astro City, that was then. Um, also nominated for Fantastic Four and Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Sana Takeda from Monstrous, and Zoe Thurgood, Joe Hill's Reign. I
Mm.
did not realize Zoe Thurgood was the artist for Joe Hill's Reign, the cover artist. I
Mm-hmm.
did not realize that.
Yeah, she was interior artist on that one. I don't know. I feel honestly, I feel like there were so many better cover artists that could have been nominated in this category.
Well,
Like
that's
I
what he
don't
was
know that
talking
I
about
would
earlier.
any of these
Like
artists.
Jenny Friesen didn't get nominated, you know.
Like Jenny Friesen, Gary Frank,
Hmm.
absolutely killer stuff. Like how is he not who else? I mean like Zoo or Zoo stuff is a beautiful man, you know. Who else would I put up there, man? I don't know. Like, yeah. But I mean I'm not mad. Okay, Bruno Redondo one.
You know, and I really the only person, you know, I would think Alex Ross has won probably several times at this point. They're like, you know, he just, you know,
Yeah,
he's circling at this point.
yeah. I mean I listen, I love Alex Ross's stuff. Well, you know what it is, Michael? I feel like it's just we don't get much variety. We've seen one Alex Ross cover, we've seen them all. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
I
Right?
mean, I get it, you know, but I know people also wait in line to get their own commission done, you know, by him as well. Like, hey, you
Mm,
know,
okay. Next one. Oh, look at that. You see, there you go. To my point, Marquelon.
I
Best
knew you were
color.
gonna say that. I was waiting for you to hit this category. I
Hey,
knew you were.
hey, I promise you this wasn't planned. But best coloring, Jordi Belair for the Nice House. Yeah, she was. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I love her stuff.
I
Who
mean,
is
you had
my
John.
buddy Jacob was in that category.
Yep, Jacob Phillips, Follow Me Down, The Ghost in You, Texas Blood.
Huh?
Alex Ross and John Johnson for the Fantastic Four Full Circle.
Okay.
Diana Souza, Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins, Mighty Nean Origins, you know, a bunch of stuff. Jean Francois Bellew, I Hate Fairland.
Okay.
You know, Dave McKeag, The Inkle. So
Okay.
I mean, they came with it. But Jordi Belair is, you know, Jordi Belair did the art on that blade I talked about. I mean, the colors. You know, I mean, Jordi Belair is like a
Yeah.
beast. You know.
Jordi Belair's. I mean, like, and you see her work. Like, it's pretty. It's tough to say what color is. Like, you can like recognizable work, but I think she's got this style. Like, you could recognize her colors. Like another good one is Kurt Michael Russell.
Uh huh.
I usually am able to tell what stuff he's worked on without having seen the credits. So Jordi Belair, yeah, she's great, well deserved, I think. Yeah, yeah, that's a tough one. Best lettering, Stan Sakai for Usagi Yojimbo.
Yep. Stan Sakai, Yusaki Ojimbo, and they were, let's see, Pat Bruce, Batman Tonight, Wonder Woman, Villain of Our Fears, Creep Show, which I love, Dark Ride, I Hate This Place. I look at I read a lot of Pat Brousseau. Chris Dickey, The Night Eater, She Eats Tonight, Abrams Comics Arts, Todd Klein, Chivalry, Fables, Miracle Man, The Silver Age, Nate Picos, Black Hammer Reborn, Minor Threat, Shaolin Cowboy, Stranger Things, I Hate Fearland. I mean, I read a lot of these books. I mean, I see it. Actually, the only thing I don't read is Yusaki Ochimbo. That's the only thing I don't read. I can't hear you, Sergio.
Thanks, Marquelon.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, but I had muted myself, man. Uh, I don't know. This category kind of cheeses me. Like when you don't have guys like Aditya Bidikar nominated or Hassan Otsman. Like I can't take it serious, man. Like to me, like Hassan is so far above and beyond like other letters in the game right now. Like you know, yeah, but
So,
Nate Picos is a great. I mean, he deserves to be up there for
I mean,
sure.
yeah, I mean, I read Black Hammer Reborn. I read Minor Threats. I read, so I mean, yeah, I've seen Nate Pico's work.
Yeah, he's cool. Well, and then, but speaking of Hassan, he did win for best comics related periodical journalism for Panel by Panel, man. Which is, if you've
Yep.
never checked it out, I mean, it's over now. They finished up the run I think just a couple months ago, but you can check out all the old issues, man. It's really really
Yeah,
really
man,
cool.
they beat Alter Ego, Comic Book Creator, Comics Journal, and it looks like a Forbes article as well. They beat.
So that's pretty cool. So shout out Hassan, man, winner of that. Let's go down to Margolin Best Digital Comic Barnstormers.
Okay, so Barnstormers won, but All Princesses Die Before Dawn by Quentin Zuten, Behind the Curtain by Sarah Duguis, Ripple Effects by Jordan Hart, 60 Years in Winter.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Barnstormers is one of the few I have not read. I mean, I've read a lot of because through Comicology once again, I read a lot of the digital stuff that drops,
Hmm.
but I have not read Barnstormers. I need to go back and get that. Somehow I missed that.
Now listen, I'm gonna tell you this here. Uh, I'm gonna be honest. The premise for Barnstormers, when it initially came out on Comixology, okay, they started printing it on Dark Horse. I think it just dropped the first one a couple weeks ago. I initially overlooked it. It didn't look like it was my cup of tea, like it was up my alley, right? I
Uh-huh.
read Barnstormers solely just to one of the writers for the site did a review on it. So I said, let me check out Barnstormers, buddy. Listen, honestly, dude, super super good stuff, man. Like I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Um, First of all, Tula Late on interiors is just her stuff is gorgeous, man. And then very well written. Uh, like Scott Snyder really kind of sunk his teeth into like not just me. I think a lot of readers like for something that maybe not necessarily I'd be into, like it's set there in World War II era. Like,
Exactly. I mean, that was kind of turned off to me. I'm like,
yeah,
can I relate to this?
so like yeah, I'm not always into like period pieces type stuff, but it was really good, man. Check it out, bro. And Dark Horse is releasing the issues as double sized issues, so you're getting two at a time. I think you might be into it, man. I loved it.
I mean, Scott Snyder, like I said, I'm not in love with Scott Snyder as much as everybody else is.
Mhm,
I did enjoy his Batman.
mhm.
You know, but I think his independent work speaks to me more, especially
Yeah,
Nocturner, especially Undiscovered Country.
yeah.
You know, I think his independent work just speaks to me more. Although his Batman run was good,
Mhm,
I will admit it. But
mhm.
and I'm kind of minority because I enjoy Tinian's. I read Snyder, Tom King, and Tinian's run on Batman. Now I'm on Chip Zdarsky. Up until Chip Zdarsky, I probably enjoyed Tinian the most, and I always felt like Tinian worked his way. Tinian worked his way from Raptor to Detective Comics to Justice League Dark. He worked his way to Batman,
Mhm.
and then he bounced. Like, all right. I'm out. Follow me over here to Substack.
That might be a bit of a hot take because of all those guys that you mentioned,
Uh-huh.
Snyder, Chip, Tinian. Who was the other one?
Tom King.
Tom
Tom King
King.
had Batman for a while too. Yeah.
I feel like King's and Tinian's runs were either you love him or you hate it. Like
I
there was a
agree with
lot
you.
of
Even love you hate him.
versus a lot of people seem to just like Scott's, and a lot of people are enjoying Chips. So
I mean, Scott Snyder's. I mean, essentially, you got Batman. You got the dang it, the Court of Owls. So he introduced the Court of Owls,
yeah,
which
iconic.
got so popular. The Court of Owls got adopted into Gotham.
Yeah,
He made Jim Gordon Batman in the mech armor suit, which
yeah,
also I think tied to Gotham.
very
You
cool.
know,
Very cool. Yeah.
he had the Joker. The Joker cut off his face and all that kind of stuff. He just Bruce Wayne lost his memory. He introduced Mr. I mean, a lot of good stuff came with the Scott Snyder run.
Yeah.
And then you got the Tom King run with with Gotham and Miss Gotham Girl and all that stuff and the whole batting cat stuff. And then I'm like, all right. I mean, the best thing coming out of Tom King run was when Bane took over the city and basically killed Alfred because I didn't see that coming, and they left Alfred dead. I was surprised because I think that was initial intent. Oh, this is hallucination that Damian Wayne didn't really see Bane kill after Alfred. But then inside, they saw how people reacted to it. Like, no, we're gonna leave Alfred dead. We're gonna leave Alfred dead. Yeah.
Man, week after week, month after month, the discourse during King's run was just like it was fun just watching it from the outside, seeing like Bat fans, just either I felt like either.
I mean, and to me, King does better with his what I call Elseworld takes at this point. The Mr. Miracle, the Strange Adventures, the Human Target. I'm not. Everybody likes this Supergirl. It didn't really speak to me. I didn't even need to read it completely. Everybody's like, "Oh, Tom King, Supergirls are so brilliant." I know everybody hates this Heroes in Crisis hero. Everybody hates that.
Count me in that count. Oh my God, what he did to Wally West is disgusting.
And I actually was talking to a friend of mine. He called me on Instagram. He's like, "Man, I see you post my comments and stuff like that." I said, "Man, I stopped after that." I said, "Man, they don't fix that." I said, "Read Current Flash by Jeremy Adams, and I think Simon Spurrier's taking over. Wally West is back being the primary Flash again."
I love it. I damn near burned my Marquelon, I damn near burned my Heroes in Crisis books.
Everybody was pissed about that, man. He was that close to doing a Chuck Austin. And Chuck Austin, I don't remember him. He was the most hated writer in comics at one point.
Goodness, bro.
People hated Chuck Austin. He's on X-Men. Like, I hate this guy.
Listen, I always tell the story. I probably shouldn't be repeating it on the channel, but listen, I got so upset about what he did. I may have told Tom King and his dog to fuck off on Twitter, and I got blocked.
You should have gotten blocked for that.
I'm sorry.
First of all, Tom King, did Tom King used to be like a CIA analyst or something like that? So I'm not saying anything negative of him because I don't know what connections he still got to the CIA.
Oh shit, man! And
Tom King probably did a whole background search on you. Hey, I need y'all to check my guy out. In Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, do a little search on this Twitter account, man.
I mean, he used to work for the CIA, so I'm like, I don't know what connection he got.
If you're out there, I love your work, man. I apologize. I was, I shouldn't.
I mean, but he took a swing for the fences. It did not land.
Yeah.
I mean, because the whole thing about the whole sanctuary, where superheroes having to go for counseling and trauma and all that stuff, that made sense.
I dig that. Like for sure, a lot of the elements from that story, I enjoyed it. Right, like even like the interviews, right? Like the
interviews were great.
Kids. I thought it was really, really it's just specifically with the characterization of Wally. I thought was brutal, terrible. But to each their own.
I mean, you got to realize that Wally West, that was the Dan DiDio era of like DC, I think. So Dan DiDio to me made it clear a certain character he did not like. He didn't like Ted Kord, Blue Beetle.
No.
He didn't like the Matches and DeMatteis and Geffen Justice League. He made that clear.
Nightwing, he didn't like Dick.
Right. He didn't like Dick Grayson. They had to basically plead for him not to kill Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
I mean, he made it clear. There's things I don't like, and I'm in charge of DC. We go home.
Yeah. Thank
I think
God.
it was Forever Evil. They was gonna kill Dick Grayson. I don't know how they talked him out of it. Look, man, we can't kill Dick Grayson, man. We can't
Yeah,
kill Dick Grayson, man.
in the Forever Evil
Yeah,
storyline.
I think originally Dick. Well, actually, I think they were originally wanted to kill Dick Grayson in Infinite Crisis,
Yeah,
and I think Jeff Johns talked him out of it then.
they tried
Then
so many times. Yeah.
and then I think they just wanted to kill Dick Grayson again in Forever Evil, and that's when he died. But the Grayson spinoff began when he's a spy.
Forever Evil took place right after Trinity War. I don't know if you see that right there, buddy. In
Uh-huh.
my
I see you
background.
pointing. I see you pointing
Yeah.
through it.
Trinity War, Forever Evil. Some of my favorite stuff from the New 52.
I agree. I mean, and Jeff Johns, I think he was heavy-handedly involved in. So I think Jeff Johns probably like, look, man, I got to overrule you on this. We need to do this.
Oh, that's where it's from. It's towards the end. I was talking about Jason Fabach.
Uh
It
huh.
was New 52, and it was called was it the Apocalypse War or the Doomsday War?
Doomsday War or something like that.
Yeah, it spawned out of like the main Justice League book. Shit, I'll post it. I'll post it on this.
Yeah, yeah. I think it may have been the Apocalypse War. I mean, because basically during that run, basically, Apocalypse was reborn as a baby. I remember that's how it ended, basically.
Yes, yes, and they introduced his daughter. What's Grail,
Yeah,
right? So yeah, that's where I was first introduced to.
and I think that's when Jeff Johns was still writing Justice League then.
Yes, yeah, yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
So that was New 52. I don't know which Superman we had because you remember New 52 Superman died and they brought back pre pre-convergence super pre-convergence pre New 52 Superman came.
Yes, which I love that stuff. I have that miniseries with the black suit. Was it and they introduced John Kent, right?
Yeah,
Like was it the post-crisis Superman came back?
yeah, yeah. Because basically, because you saw that him and you, and when they did convergence, you saw like, oh, with him and Lois and the kid are living in like this other world and stuff like that,
Yes,
and they brought him back.
they brought him
And I
back. I
and I
have
like how
those.
we,
I have those little one-shot issues. It's yeah.
and people hate on convergence, but convergence had some good one shots though. I mean, I
Mhm.
remember the Wonder Woman convergence where it was like a world where like the Justice League were vampires, she was fighting them or something like that. That was good. I need to go back and find that. I'm like, and convergence, was an attempt like we got all this kind of stuff floating around here. Let's try and bring it back in.
Mhm.
You know,
Like the main convergence storyline. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty cool. I
but I
have
mean,
the
was
main
it
issue.
Brainiac was the main villain in that, right? Was it Brainiac was like had
Telos,
basically
Telos, I believe.
Telos, yeah,
Telos.
basically had basically done a Brainiac where they encapsulated all these different realities, slices of reality.
Yeah,
It basically created like a battle world where and
yeah,
they would travel from place to place. Like, oh,
yeah, something like that. It was pretty cool. I think it was just there's just so much involved, like all the different like one shots. It was just too much for some people and a little bit confusing, even for me. So if
well,
you weren't well versed in DC, you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
but they're doing that now with this Night Terrors, which I was like, I'm not gonna touch Night Terrors. I'm not gonna touch it, but I've touched it because they're basically two-shot issues. Like, you get one issue this month, get the next one,
Okay.
and basically Insomnia. I think I saw Blur when I first. Insomnia is basically DC Universe's Freddy Krueger. It's
Mm,
somebody who basically he's DC's Freddy Krueger going in people's dreams, and the premise is basically Doctor Destiny is dead, and somebody's looking for his dream stone, but Insomnia is the person who killed him, and he's looking for the Nightmare Stone, and
okay.
it's in somebody's nightmare. So basically, everybody in the world is asleep, and he's going from nightmare to nightmare, looking, trying to find this stone because he don't know where Doctor Destiny hid it. So of course, everything is happening weird, like it's just weird stuff happening. Like it's almost Nightmare on Elm Street. Like you go into like the Flash is having this dream nightmare about Wally West getting killed. Green Lantern is seeing the undead. Abin his nightmares. It's like everybody's seeing their worst nightmares.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool, to be honest. I think just the timing is weird. Why not release this in the fall, like September, October, to coincide with like
I,
Halloween? It's just
I
very
don't know.
weird,
I mean, and I think
right?
Josh Williamson is the mastermind behind this. Josh Williamson to me is a he likes doing horror stuff because I like his Dark Ride at Image.
Mm-hmm.
I've started his Nail Biter,
Mm-hmm.
so I think he's a horror guy. Let me pitch my horror stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't really been checking out DC stuff lately.
I mean,
Hey.
basically, no ongoing DC. I mean, all DC books are suspended. Why they doing this?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they basically
Okay.
suspended it.
Site. Excuse me. Line wide.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah. So everybody's getting. I think the only exception was Superboy. I saw issue of Superboy come out. I don't know, okay,
Yeah.
and I got that.
Hey, man. Listen, we covered a lot of bases this week. A lot of this bases this week. We cracked the 2 hour mark, so it's probably a good time to wrap things up. One last reminder: next Sunday, July the 30th, with Eisner Award-winning Chip Zdarsky, Eisner nominated Jacob Phillips. They're back, baby, at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to check that out, man. And here's the obligatory. Please remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed myself and Marquelon musing over, all this comic book. We covered all kinds of
I
stuff,
mean,
man.
we did. I mean,
Um,
you got a good range of books, especially we went to the Oscar nominations. So what I tend to do is I tend to go back and look at it, like, all right, even go back and read it. Some of the stuff that was nominated.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was a whole lot of fun, man. I had fun with this one. Thank you to those who joined us live. Appreciate everybody, man. Always the community. You guys make it a good time, baby. Yeah. Let me hit that. Let me hit that outro, man. Where's it at? Where's it at, Mark? Come on, man. Help me out here. There we go, baby. There we go. Thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, man. We'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Zdarsky, Phillips, we out of here, baby. Marquelon, good episode, brother. Appreciate everything, man.
Yes, sir.
We out of here, folks.